Hello, readers. Welcome to 20 Questions with Your Favorite Author, where we ask authors important questions like, why would you agree to be on this podcast? I'm Kelly Lynn Colby, Editorial Director at Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. Tonight, we have Kit Falbo, game-lit writer and fabulous friend. Kit Falbo is the autistic, polyamorous, non-binary, stay-at-home parent of 2 kids who happen to write books when time allows. They can't not write. Not to say they are prolific person time. If they are not your favorite writer now, they will be after. Woohoo! Welcome, Kit. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good. It's tomorrow is actually my birthday. I'll be old.
What? Pre-birthday celebration, do a podcast. What a great idea. You have anything awesome planned?
No, I'm not a giant fan of my birthday.
You're like, I wish to no longer age.
Yeah.
If only ignoring the day did that.
Pretty much.
Well, we wish you happy birthday anyways. I do have to say, as soon as you logged on, that I adore that shirt. The Pink Floyd shirt, that is great. I don't know how all the geek shirts we have with all of these different sayings that I have not seen that one before.
I do have a degree in psychology, so it seemed appropriate.
Oh, I see. I suppose there is a lot of psychology to talk about with Pink Floyd as well. So putting them together, yeah. Uh-huh.
Not that I've used my degree for anything, so.
That's right. I have a biology degree I also have not used for anything. So same. Now, your profile pic, I adore it. And question, are you lying on the floor? Are you like trying to hide from the kids just long enough to take a decent picture? Like, what is that angle?
I'm just laying in bed.
You're just laying back?
Laying back in bed, yeah.
Oh, got you. Because it looks like that's fishbone pattern on a floor, a tile floor. So in my head, I pictured you hidden behind the couch, just trying to have a moment of peace.
No, I was hiding in the bedroom trying to have a moment of peace.
So I got the right emotion, just the wrong position.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I understand. Parent to parent, I get that. Let's see. I put game-lit in the promo because we haven't had too many authors who specialize in game-lit, so I wanted to stress that. But I know you also write lit RPG. Is that correct?
Yeah, the terms are almost interchangeable, but not quite. But
one involves a lot more math, So what is it about these fall into the game world kind of genres that appeal to you so strongly?
I mean, I enjoy reading the genre. I mean, obviously, if you're going to write in the genre, you should read in it.
No doubt.
And I mean, I spent a lot of time playing video games as a kid, so it's like kind of combines all those things of my youth with pop culture and video games and fantasy novels that I read. You can kind of like make a nice soup out of it.
That's clever. It's very, I mean, I used to pretend that I would like fall into the Star Trek world, right? Mm-hmm. So this would be the same kind of thing, right? So I guess it makes sense that this has come out. And in the game world, you have much more control than just watching a television show.
Yeah, it lets you do more concrete magic systems,
Mm-hmm.
You want to base it around that.
I like it. It's a very clever way to work. We have a question we like to ask, and that is, how long did it take you to finish your first book?
About 4 years to finish that one. It was a slow grind. The other ones took less time. It also depends upon what's going on in my life and how much free time I have to write.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need a break from one piece and need to focus on another one for a little bit,
Right. Yep. It's tough. It's tough to squeeze in that time. So what's the one thing you do differently now than when you first started that's made the most difference in your end product?
I don't really know exactly. I mean, obviously, you're accruing those mastery hours. Those 10,000 hours it takes to master a skill, mm-hmm. and you're just getting a little bit better each time. Mm-hmm. And of course, better is subjective, because, depending upon the genre you're writing, you might like something more than is, say, genre acceptable. I don't really write exactly to the market,
Mm-hmm.
I got lucky with my first book, wanting to do like a crafting book. So I was one of the early authors doing a crafting basis in the game lit genre, and then that got a bit more popular. Not that my book hit the same heights as some of the ones after, but I got to get a little bit lucky for there. Some other books haven't been as lucky, but it's just how it is.
It just works out if you can just hit that right genre. But if you don't write what you're loving, then it's gonna be junk anyways. So I get it. I totally get it. Oddly enough, you're the second author in a row who has a series based on chess. So I thought that was I'm like, what are the odds? So now they're very different, though. They're very different flavors, both the series. But I'm wondering, how did you come up with hustling chess instead of like pool or some normal? Like, why was it chess?
Well, like in the book, my grandfather taught me to play chess when I was a young kid, and I just liked the strategic idea of it, so you're basing the skills of the characters somewhat upon their hobbies, so if you're doing like pools, you're going to have a lot of spatial awareness and that kind of skill,
right,
as well as the different soft skills of baking it and then making it, Not to say that some of that isn't there in chess hustling, but I wanted to do a little bit of a sleight of hand, a little bit of strategy, more cerebral-based, considerate skill at least.
That's right. Excellent. I just thought it was a clever way. It must happen, right? I've seen the parks where people play chess a lot, but it just didn't occur to me. So that was pretty clever. Which is why we read, right? Or at least that's why I read. I like to experience things I'm never going to experience. Some of these things I don't ever want to experience.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to get that. So it was kind of cool. You opened my mind to that. And I have to say, you apparently like the unexpected, because I laughed out loud when I read the beginning of Intelligence Block. And it's where the main character, who's a wizard, is about to perform at a party and was thrilled to do so, even though his avatar wasn't. And so, of course, the trope, you think of Dresden, right? Where he's like, I don't do parties, right? The grumpy wizard, I don't do parties. So the fact that the character really wanted to do it, it was just so funny. So how did you come up with this twist?
Well, the basis of that story was that old Asimov, I think, saying about the highly advanced technology is akin to magic. So what do you do if you have highly advanced technology? Of course, you want to be a magician, So as for the grumpy old magician trope, I just decided that I wanted that to be his character and have that his mantra is always stay in character, so it lets him shows both the duality of it and the acting, so you get to see the passion for the job, he's very passionate about being this kind of stage performer, Yeah, let you show that in a way that you don't get confused between his role and his passion.
That's really clever. So I really like that. It's not often I laugh out loud at the beginning. So these stories, if you could turn one of them into a movie, it doesn't have to just be any of your stories. Which one would it be and why?
Right. Obviously anyone, because we're all looking to get those royalty checks for, because, that's how they say the real way you make money in writing is to getting it made into a movie or a show. But I think Intelligence Block would have the most potential for like special effects and fun, because the crafting of chess has a lot of internal aspects, and it very much uses the smithing as the action, so it wouldn't translate as well to the other medium, Not to say you can't do it, but it would be more of a drama with light action in that one.
Some things are just made to be books, and they're just fine being books.
Yeah.
But you're right. We would love to have the extra check. So I'll take it. Thank you very much. Well, talking about like movies and stuff, we just went and saw Top Gun against my will. Not a big fan of the first movie. Not a big fan of Tom Cruise. Just not for me. But my husband adores the universe, right? Like it helped define him in the 80s. Like he wanted to be a pilot, that kind of thing, right? And so I'm like, of course we'll go see it. We go see things I want to see. We'll go see it because I love you. Self-sacrificing wife that I am, right? Holy moly, the movie was so good. I could not believe how good it was. So here's my question. Have you been surprised by a movie or TV or book, any kind of, something you're consuming that you didn't think you'd like?
Yeah, I mean, I generally try to navigate towards things that I like,
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we do other people in the house who watch other things. I enjoyed Bridgerton, the Netflix miniseries, quite a lot, despite it not really being exactly my taste. I've read a few period fantasies, like Marie Robinette Noel's. I'm trying to remember what fantasy series it's called, but she has one that that I liked, and then there was also a Glass Magician that also has more of that period idea, but with romance but with a lot of magic in it,
Mm-hmm. So was it the romance you didn't think that you would like, and then you were surprised that appealed to you?
The lack of fantasy. Usually I enjoy more fantasy inside of it, but the costumes are very pretty. I enjoyed the diverse cast. The acting was good. You can always appreciate some decent acting,
Mm-hmm. It's always fun. Well, now that we know a little bit about you, we've heard a little bit about your books. If someone is new to Kit Falbo, where do you suggest they start?
You can start with the first book I wrote is The Crafting of Chess. Mm-hmm. It's my most popular book. I've managed to disappoint a lot of people with the sequel because there's a total change in it.
Oh,
but,
no.
There's a curse of the sequel in which you're kind of like, they have expectations, and they're ultimately either you match it too much and they don't like it because of that, because you don't do enough change, or they don't like it because you've changed it too much, And I enjoyed the sequel in many ways. It's exploring a different thing, and I get why some people have complaints. My favorite book is probably Intelligence Block that you laughed at, that it did not really, a lot of people didn't read because it's kind of like, what genre does it fit in? It doesn't really have a good, easy genre that it fits in. It's not really space opera. It's not really action adventure. It's kind of an interesting sci-fi thing. I had a lot of fun writing that. I have ideas for a sequel, but if it's, I have billions of stories in my head, so I think if something's successful, I like to kind of try to build on it a little bit more and also have fun with side projects.
No doubt. Whenever someone's like, where do you come up with your ideas? Are you afraid you're going to run out? I'm like, no. I'm like, and I always think in my head, I'm like, writers don't. Right? Like we can't. It's never ending. Our minds are just making things up, even if we need them to stop because I need to finish this other one.
yeah. Especially if you have to finish the other one. Ideas are cheap. It's the execution that is difficult. You study all the craft and how to put it together, and then you have to work on that execution to get it good enough. You can't say perfect because all your audience is going to get their own images in their head when they're reading it. You have to understand how to do that without falling into some of the pitfalls.
No doubt. Friday Blue says that she loves space opera. So.
Well, she might enjoy that.
Might be the one to start with.
Yeah.
And that was Intelligence Block, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So when you're creating a new novel, do you find people in your life to be inspirational, or do you try to avoid them? Afraid you're going to offend someone or anything like that?
No, I find some people in my life to be inspirational. I do a lot of inspiration from books I read, though, and pop culture, and it's always that hint that you watch something, you're like, I want to do that better in my way. I think that's a good bit of inspiration for working when you're writing. I do have a lot of. I have a lot of Easter eggs in my books that I try to aim to not be too out there, you know. So if you kind of recognize something, you'll go, wait, I recognize that, but without you. But if you don't know them, I always aim for it that you can read the book and enjoy it without knowing what the Easter eggs that I put in it are, you know. Not like Ready Player One, where you have to know a lot of the Easter eggs to get the fullest enjoyment, you know.
Right.
I mean, you could know about 50% of the enjoyment out of that one. That one did have some inspiration for me, but I always like where you don't need to know to be enjoying it, but if you do, you can, and that's what you like. Because I understand that there's a segment of the population that does not like Easter eggs because it kind of pulls them out a little bit too much. But I try to be as subtle as I can when I do that.
Gotcha. So people who find them are thrilled, and people who don't know they missed it. So we're good.
Exactly.
That's the good kind of Easter egg. Which one of your characters do you relate to the most? I know. Gotta narrow it down.
That was tricky, you know. Probably in the current job, Hermanos, kind of a. He's more of he's less social, you know. He's more kind of a misanthrope. He enjoys the mini game inside of it. He plays a lot of. It's like a collectible card game, you know. I used to play Legend of the Five Rings and Magic the Gathering for a while. I still do Magic Arena, you know. So, but not as much as I used to as a kid. So I kind of get that single-minded focus sometimes, you know.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Like, I can't play video games because if I do, that's all I do.
Yeah, so, you need to write and publish books.
I have to write and run a company and run a household and So I can't. So if we have a vacation, then I can do it, right? Because I could do nothing for 3 days. And my family's well aware they're on their own. 3 days. But I can't just, I'm not someone who could just do it for an hour at night and then go to bed and wake up and do a normal thing. It doesn't happen that way. Is that what happens like when you were playing Magic and stuff?
Yeah, somewhat. But yeah. And you just need to like schedule it, you know? And it was more difficult with collectible card games because you had to do a lot of planning, you know, and build your decks.
Yep. No, I will even set an alarm and say I'm going to get off after an hour, or I'm just going to do one more quest. But it doesn't work. There's no discipline when it comes to me in video games. There comes a point you just have to know yourself. So I just can't play unless I have time off.
Set those boundaries.
That's right. That's it. There's just comes a time you just have to acknowledge what your flaws are. And I have so few, right? Safo. He's not going to answer me. You'll see. Are you working on anything new that you're over the moon excited about?
I'm taking a break before I write my the final novel in the chess series to the disappointment of the fans of that. But, you know, I need a mental break from the character for a little bit. And I'm writing about a Necromancer Made in a fantasy world with some lit RPG style mechanics.
A Necromancer Made?
Yes. So there's this. She works as a maid for a manor.
Okay.
And she has a profession, maid, and a class, necromancer. She uses her necromancer skills to help with, say, cleaning, like dust. Dust is made up of a lot of skin particles, bits of leather, bits of wood, things that are considered dead. So it helps with that skill. She also uses it for like beauty treatments, you know. So she can like help shape and change hair colors and adjust nails, you know, because those are the dead things that grow on us, you know. And
how funny!
She has a goal of that she wants to raise an undead pet. It's new and interesting, and she has some plans. And the story is about her trying to meet the requirements for that. And then when that happens, it'll be guess what's going to go wrong, you know? It's because you're writing. Because, you know, what's your goal? To inconvenience these characters and make sure things go wrong before they go right.
They must go wrong. Otherwise, what are we reading?
They must go wrong. Yes. Right. Yes. They must go wrong. So.
Oh my gosh! You really do like twists. That's so unique.
Yeah, I'm about 35,000 words into it, and I still need to think I'm about a third of the way. into the novel, you know.
That's fascinating. That's really cool. I mean, look at me. I'm like a Necromancer Made. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That is great. That alone's going to sell a book. They're going to be like, what?
I mean, I hope, you know, but I mean, female main characters don't really do that great in the genre for sales wise. But I'm also like, let's put a maid on the cover in a maid outfit with it actually being the main character, because there's a big issue with that in the genre, especially those that like to do more harem-ish books, where they put the scantily clad female on the cover, but that's not the main character,
Unless it's reverse harem. Then it is.
Yeah. Well, this is not a harem book, so I do play with
you said this is lit RPG?
It's kind of like that, because it's not in an actual video game. But it has skill levels and stats as the fantasy, as the magic system, but it's not hurdle, so it's not like Isekai or transported to another world. It's an actual fantasy world where the character is living in the society where this is how the tiered society works,
So. Do you have a name for this novel yet?
Right now, I'm calling it like just Death Made. I don't really have a final title.
Just working title right now, yeah.
It was originally inspired as kind of a romance. Like, you can't spell necromancer without romance. Oh. But I almost immediately it was not going in that direction, Gotcha. First I thought I might go in that direction, Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like that meme joke, and I was like, that kind of inspired the beginning of it, and so I don't have a finished title. No. I think of terrible titles after I'm done with the book,
Gotcha. Yeah, we changed a lot of ours by the end too. That's why it's called working titles, right? Nope, I get that totally. So do you just like sit down and write, or do you have like outlines? Do you have like goals? Do you have plot points?
It depends upon the story. Usually I have sometimes I have none when I'm just free writing, pantsing it. In this one, I kind of have a vague outline of how I want it to go, the different points I hit, but it's like a lot of things happen in between, that kind of drastically change the arcs of the story and the characters. Because I'll do discovery writing, and then I realize something, and kind of like makes it more organic. So as long as I hit the main flow that I'm trying to go through,
mm-hmm.
and get to that end that I want. Usually I'm good, and I find that both gives it structure and makes it more organic at the same time.
Excellent. It's nice to have a balance. So we are at our speed round now, where we have our very most important questions that our audience totally will not judge you on the answers for, I swear. So let's start with the first one. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate peanut butter, the Haagen-Dazs variety.
Yum.
No, I'm not eating dairy as much, so there's some good avocado ice cream. I don't know if you've ever had avocado ice cream. So since it's some chocolate avocado ice cream, it's a very nice and creamy, a little bit healthier for you, as much as ice cream can be healthy,
Yeah, we tried a coconut ice cream. Now, it was just one brand. I don't even remember which one. But it was, and I love coconut milk, so let me say that first. But it was really, really grainy. Like the consistency didn't work. So is the avocado, is it smooth?
Smooth. Yeah. You should try that.
We'll try it. Can zombies climb?
It depends upon the kind of zombie. I mean, it's a plot point, do you want them to climb? Do you want them just to be able to dig holes into things? You want them to fly, superpowered zombies?
Are you trying to say they're just a story element?
Yes.
What? Tragic. Tragic. I mean, they totally are, but still.
Yes.
Cats or dogs?
I guess cats a little bit, but I don't really have a pet. I have children. That's kind of like both. Feral wild creatures.
Come on, man. Pets are easier to train and they love you more. Outwardly love you more. Express it. How about that? They express love more. Maybe not cats. Well, some cats.
Well, cats will express it one day and then express hate the next day.
They're teenagers.
They have no boundaries. I mean, they don't respect other people's boundaries, but they have boundaries.
Yes.
Well, dogs have no boundaries and don't respect other people's boundaries.
Yes. They're like, what are boundaries? I love you.
Yes.
And what is the best thing you have ever, or at least recently, eaten?
Tacos. I make some homemade tacos. Just for dinner tonight. Pretty good. Some almond flour tortillas, meat, lettuce, cheese, just basic, simple tacos. I'm eating a lot of those recently.
Just nice, basic, simple tacos. I like it. I went somewhere up north. We're in Houston. I went somewhere up north, and on their menu, it was it said tacos, and it was like, I can't remember what it said now. I won't remember the exact title, but along the lines, it was like, they were trying to specify that they were using tortillas, like soft shelled tortillas, right?
Yeah.
And whatever fancy name they put on it, I looked at the person next to me. I'm like, in Houston, we call these tacos.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, this is a taco. This is nothing fancy. Taco.
No. You've gone too far away from Mexico when people start calling jalapenos jalapenos.
Yes.
And
it doesn't take that long. As the great band Bowling for Soup told us, Mexican food sucks north of here anyway. Well, speaking of Bowling for Soup, who is your favorite band or musician?
I don't really have one. I mean, I enjoy music a lot. I think been enjoying. I guess I'll just say Weird Al because that was my favorite as a kid.
Weird Al
he manages to replace a whole bunch of musicians. If your song comes on, it doesn't matter what the lyrics are. You're hearing the Weird Al version in your head.
Right, absolutely. It's almost a requirement. Have you seen him in concert?
I have not. There's gonna be a movie with Daniel Radcliffe playing him on
Yes,
Roku soon.
I saw that. And actually, he looked pretty darn good. I'm like, good for you, Daniel.
Well, he's producing it. Like Weird Al's producing the movie.
I love Weird Al. I love him. I've seen him in concert multiple times. So he's impressive. And joke music is not my favorite. And there's just something about Weird Al. He's I don't know, he's classy, which is funny if you see his videos. Classy might not be what you're, thinking, but he really, really is classy human being. And there's not a whole lot of them left. Spikette says that she loves Weird Al too. All right. What part of your daily routine is an absolute must?
Getting enough sleep, but it never happens.
Well, then it's obviously not an absolute must.
Oh, yes.
What's the first thing you put in your cart at the grocery store?
Usually it's like carrots or apples.
Oh, nice. Do you have horses or children? I'm confused now.
I have children, so but I have a loop of grocery store ones. The first one I go to is like natural grocers, and I go to the produce section first and check the price of the apples. And I need to buy some carrots, so it's literally the first thing I put in my cart. Not because it's the most thing I want, it's because it's the first thing there. It's the order of operations,
I love it. I'm still seeing horses though. Sorry, you broke me. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Good choice. All right, excellent. Well, finally, where can fans find you and your work?
Amazon is honestly the easiest. It's always the one that you can find and actually buy my work immediately at. I do have a website, kitfalbo.com, but I don't update it as much as I should. So I'm also on Twitter, and I have a TikTok that I mostly do silly things on.
Excellent.
But Amazon, if you want to actually go look at my work and buy a copy of something, you're the best.
That's awesome. And you're on Kindle Unlimited too, right? So anyone
Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that, you can go read it, and I'll get less than half a cent a page, but it's something.
Hey, take it, man. We will take it all.
Yes.
I mean, we write so people can read, so please read it. So thank you so much. And now that Kit is your favorite author, please make sure to go review their work. And please review us wherever it is you get your podcast. You can also follow us on twitch.tv/cursedragonship or subscribe on cursedragonship.com/YouTube. And we will see you next week where we have guest Dennis Galloway.